we've got to start with Rangers against Hearts. We absolutely have to. That was the game of the weekend for me that had the most potential to throw something up, and it did. It really, really did. I said in the weekend preview that if Hearts could get a result this weekend, it would not only be a huge mentality shifter for them, but it would be a huge mentality shifter for the rest of the league, just with where Rangers have been at last season and this season. And I really, really do think it is. I really, really do. So before we look at the stats and everything, I watched the game. I missed the first, what did I miss? The first maybe 25 minutes or so. So I got in, turned it on around about then. So I did miss Shanklin's goal to go 1-0 up, but caught it from everything there. And just from everything I seen at the end of the first half and what I heard on the radio when I was driving home to catch it, Hearts were just on the front foot. The team were on it, and that's what they really, really had to do at the start of this game. If they could get the game going, if they were the team that was doing it quicker at the beginning, had more energy, were completing more passes, harassing Rangers with where Rangers are at, the state that they're in, with the fans being disconnected from the manager and the team, it was always going to make Ibrox a really, really tough place for Rangers to play in. And Hearts and Derek McInnes did exactly that. Really, really good. The energy was good. The press was good. They looked quicker. They looked faster. All those things that when you watch a game, you're like, oh, that team's better than the other team. I just thought that was Hearts. Rangers are trying to play out the back. They look nervy. Hearts are high pressing them. And McInnes said that in his interview, post-match press conference after the game, wanted to use the Ibrox crowd almost against Rangers. And I think that shows where Rangers are at right now, in that the fear of teams go in there now, especially after this weekend. And I think already it was done, but especially after this weekend, the fear's gone. And I've seen it. I've seen it loads of times as a Liverpool fan. I see it now with Man United. You even see it with Man City now in the Premier League, the league that I watch the most. You used to go to those grounds. Ibrox is one of them. And you're just like, never getting a result here. If we can get out with a point, great result. Let's sit in. If we can get a 1-0, 2-0 defeat, cool, we'll get out here with that. And it's not that place for Rangers right now. And it's not, and the rest of the league are going to be coming there and already are coming there and looking to use the crowd against them right now. So, yeah, just the game was brilliant. Hearts deserved it. I think bar the kind of 15 minutes after half-time. I know there's a debate about the handball for Shanklin and the build-up to the goal, the first goal. Maybe it is. I mean, usually everyone would say you're playing at a place like Ibrox, the decisions normally always go against you. And again, I think my brother said it, even the penalty that Hearts do get to make it 2-0, everything's going for Derek McInnes and Hearts at the moment, and everything's just going against Russell Martin at the moment and Rangers. And that's just where you're at, and that's football. And we've all been there as fans. We've all been there as players or coaches or whatever. You're on one side of it or the other, and when you're on the side that Russell Martin and Rangers are, you're like, come on, can we just get a break here? And it's runs that you go through. But yeah, I mean, Milne was excellent for Hearts on the right-hand side. I mean, McInnes talked about it in his press conference after the game. He asked him to play right wing there to help out on the right-hand side. And, he said that he'd played there as a boy and that he was able to do it. And McInnes thought, him kind of driving inside, a left footer off the right would just create space inside for Hearts. And it absolutely did. He was brilliant. I know he then switches over to the left at one point. But just everything was absolutely spot on from Hearts. It really, really was. And like I said, Rangers had that 15-minute flurry at the start of the second half, which of course they were going to have. At some point, they were going to. I know they hit the bar in the first half, but it's a screamer of a shot. I can't remember if the keeper tipped it onto the bar or not. And by the way, the new Hearts keeper had an excellent game. They needed that because Andrew Clark's been quite poor. That's very interesting that McInnes started him. But keeper, I can't remember if he tips it onto the bar. Rangers have that. Not too much more in the first half. And then, yeah, like I said, that 15-minute flurry comes. It's a bit of a storm. Hearts look like they were tiring. They look like they were trying to weather it. And again, they get a bit of luck. I think Gassama hits one off the post where he cuts inside. He's a great player, by the way. He, for me, is Rangers' best player, certainly from an attacking point of view. Don't think he'll be there too long. I think a couple of clubs will snack him up. I'm pretty sure he came from Chef Wed, right? But yeah, he's been really, really good there. And then they obviously have the disallowed goal, which, I mean, you can't touch keepers these days, can you? I mean, it just is what it is. Like, is it a foul for me? Probably not, to be quite honest with you. But, I mean, it's been a long, long time now where goalkeepers, you lean into them, you nudge them a wee bit, and the referees typically give it. It's just how the game is, unfortunately, whether we think it should be or shouldn't be as fans or even as players. They've refed it that way for a long time now. You know what's going to happen. So it's a bit of luck from Hearts, and that's what I'm saying. And it's not a bit of luck from Rangers, and then it's Milne that goes into the box to get the foul for the penalty. And yeah, Shankland tucks it away and buries it and goes in front to the Hearts fans. And the irony is, Rangers could probably really do with the class 9, and they probably could have gone and got Shankland, and they decided not to go get him, and or for whatever reason, money or whatever. And Shankland's now at Hearts, and it's massive for Hearts and McInnes to be able to keep him around and build the squad. And McInnes lauded him and said everything he did was absolutely brilliant. His link-up play is really, really good. And he's finding himself a bit again, Shankland. He lost himself a little bit towards the end of last season, didn't he? But he's definitely finding himself again under McInnes. And Rangers fans are chanting, getting sacked in the morning along with the Hearts fans. It's so toxic. And even watching Russell Martin's press conference after the game, he's edgy, he's agitated. They're asking him about, will the owners back you? And he isn't very sure. Like, he was, I don't know, I've not had a talk with them. I'm sure they will. But before, he was like, absolutely, we're on the same page. He's kind of biting back at the fan media. He's saying that what I'm seeing in training isn't what we're then seeing in the games, and it's about the mental and the personal side of the game, and it's not really tactical. And the guy asking the questions is like, but we're not seeing any evidence of what you're saying to us on the pitch. And yeah, he's absolutely right. We're not seeing any evidence of it on the pitch. And look, from a coaching point of view, from doing it for so long and looking at that to have been a career path in my life at one point in time, everyone deserves time. He's had 5 games, obviously a few more with the Champions League games and stuff. But the reality of the fact is, at that level and at a club like Rangers, I've always said it truly, really is about winning. And when Rangers appointed him and they were talking about philosophy and this guy's going to bring a style and a substance, I'm like, you don't need that. You need someone that's going to come in and just get you back close to Celtic and get challenging again for that league title consistently and winning it and winning trophies. And along the way, have a style and a philosophy and a way of doing it, absolutely. But for me, that appointment was behind the times, was really behind the times. And this is kind of going to be my bigger point, and it's going to touch on it with Amorim as well, and for United against City, is that these whole kind of like philosophy managers that have come in, we've been through that time period and we've been through that era, absolutely, and it's over for me. It is over for me. I think the top coaches that are going to be the top guys over the next kind of few years is like your Arne Slots. I think Thomas Frank's going to do really well. You're seeing it with Enrique at PSG, who I think has always been this type of guy. It's the ability to adapt to what the game needs. You still have principles and how your shape is and stuff, but you're not like binded by specific things. You have to adapt to what the game is. And I just think, I don't know, it's not to say like Russell Martin can't play out the back and do things like that, like just pump it forwards. It's not saying completely change it, but it's like, it's not working, and the more that you don't win games, the less that the players believe in you and start thinking like, who the hell is this guy? And players know they're going to be there longer than the managers. That's always how it works, right? So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. They have Hibs at the weekend in the Cup, and if they lose that, if he's not already gone before this, I haven't really had a look at my phone on Twitter this morning, and I'm sure my group chat would have been popping off with it if he'd been sacked. So I don't think he's been sacked yet. And if they stick with him and they back him, let's see. Again, from a coaching point of view, good luck to him. I hope it does work out, and I hope he does come through. But I don't think it is. And as what that guy asked him in the press conference, I don't see any evidence of it either. We really, really don't. So really, really bad spot for him. He said that fans didn't even want me in the first place, and blah, blah, blah. And you're starting to go with the fans a little bit, and you're never going to win that battle. And the whole kind of place and the whole idea of football is the fans are at least behind you. They're your 12th man, right? That kind of classic thing. And if anything, he's pushing them further and further away. If anything, they were agreeing with the Hearts fans, right? And he's pushing them onto other teams. So the longer they keep him, and obviously if the results don't go, then the fans are going to get even more frustrated and it's not going to work. But they've quite heavily backed him in the transfer market as well. So if you bring someone else in, you're restarting that again. And Rangers aren't in a good spot. And look, second place was up for grabs last year. Aberdeen do very well. Rangers managed to come back in and obviously quite comfortably do it. And then Aberdeen are really poor pretty much from about November, December, kind of that Christmas period onwards, and still have been really poor, by the way. But yeah, it's there for grabs. And Hearts under McInnes look like I have a bit about them to be able to do it. I think Hibs as well. We'll see that again in the Cup at the weekend. I think Hibs have a bit about them to do it too. Kilmarnock aren't a bad team. We see them yesterday against Celtic. So yeah, Rangers need to knuckle down a bit. They are in a bit of trouble, and I think that this this could very well be the season. It does feel like it could be the season where that does get split. And I've said this, it's an exciting time to be in Scottish football. And look, Rangers and Celtic fans, in particular Rangers, because they're the ones that are unfortunately the one that look like they're going to be the one to drop off and be the team to be split. It's better for the league. It is better for the league. I know you guys don't want to hear that because you guys are always winning, but it is better for the league. So, yeah, not in a good spot. But look, Hearts, absolutely brilliant. On my point about the managers that are great, McInnes, the way he talks about it, he adapts to what's in front of him in the game. He does it before games. He does it during games. We've seen his substitutions. He's been lauded for it all season so far. That's what football really is, isn't it? From a managerial point of view, it's like, look, sometimes you've done all these things in training all week and it looks amazing, and then you get to the game and it's just different, and you have to be able to adapt to it. And he's someone that's done a great job there. It's a huge mental barrier broken for Hearts in particular, but it's a huge mental barrier broken for the league. It really is. So let's just quickly look at the stats over that. If we have a little look at the momentum bar, I mean, Rangers do get, as I said, you get to half time, right? And Rangers do get that flurry about 56th minute all the way until about the 67th, 68th minute, where that's that kind of 15-minute period where they're really, really putting the pressure on the Hearts to get the goal that's disallowed. And then the game swings back around a little bit and Hearts get a bit of a hold of it. And kind of from there on, it really kind of is a bit more Hearts, especially after the second goal and they get the penalty. They could have easily had the third. They hit the post, right? It doesn't quite go in. So, yeah, there was just loads of moments there. I mean, possession-wise, Rangers end up having 66% possession. Hearts have 34% possession. I'm not really going to go through XG. Total shots, Rangers have 14, Hearts have 12. Footmob has got big chances, 0 for Rangers, which, I don't think Rangers really did have any big chances, and 3 for Hearts, which is probably the 2 goals and then the one that they obviously do miss. So just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Braga, again, I'll say that he's better than any forward that Rangers or Celtic have. Celtic have now got Iheanacho. He'll be decent in there, don't get me wrong. But Hearts fans, I keep saying he might be the first one that you need to go through. Milne here on the Footmob's got an 8.1 rating. Shankland 8.8 was absolutely brilliant. I mean, if you just look across that kind of whole Hearts team rating in there, it's absolutely brilliant. Like I said, the new keeper was really good. They needed that. That's going to strengthen them there. And then if you look at the Rangers team again, they've got said Suter had a good game. Yeah, I kind of would agree with that. Tav was trying to make things happen. Gassama, yes. Asgard said he had a 7.4. Really? I don't know. I don't really see what he's brought to Rangers, to be honest. I'm not too sure on that. But anyway, that's kind of that. I'll wrap it up on that. But huge moment, huge win. Absolutely massive. 4 Hearts, absolutely massive for the league. And well done to them. And Rangers have a lot of work to do and are just in a really, really bad spot. And we'll see if they can kind of recover from it.